Good morning. We are back. I can't. This is such a throwback. It's okay. Never mind. For good time's sake, we'll set a timer here. Here we go. 8 minutes. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I figured I would go back to these videos because, well, I have my own hotel room here, and it's also very dark in the morning when I wake up and went for my morning walk. So, I don't know. I don't know if this will be better subjectively than the phone camera videos, but we'll see. I figured I would at least give it a try for a week or something. Let's see how these go in comparison to holding my phone out in front of me. Okay, so what's going on? I'm in this new hotel. It's not an apartment. It's a co-living hotel. My first impressions were a little off. It's a little more upscale than I thought it would be. And yeah, the co-working, I think the vibe is not, it feels more like a hotel than like a lively, young, hip, co-working, co-living hotel. So, but the gym, the fitness center, exceeded my expectations. So, I think I'm not gonna get a gym membership and instead just use the one here. That could be huge. And there's tons of like shopping malls and food courts and stuff like that around here. So the food is also pretty good and fairly cheap. I paid $9 yesterday, and oh my god, I'll write about this in my blog post. I had the most amazing Indian food lunch. It was probably the best quality I've ever had, and all of it cost me $13 US. I can't get over that. Anyway, what else? It feels very like corporate, businessy area. Lots of people kind of dressed up, more proper, and so maybe because of that, a lot of the coffee shops don't open until 8. So I still need to figure out my routine. I'm shifting routines. So still figuring that out, but I'm gonna find a place to work today and we will go from there. I'm back into my routine. I meditate. I worked out yesterday. I meditated in the evening. This morning, woke up at 6:30, went on a walk around the block, and then came back, meditated, doing my video. Then I'm gonna go do some work and get back into the flow of things. One thing I did want to talk about, I wasn't sure how to make this into an entire video, because I think it's like 30 seconds worth of video. Maybe not that much. Something I found interesting was it's been, I think, 8 or 9 days since I left Bali, went to Singapore, and then came here. And I think it's been 8 days since I meditated. And I wanted to share, like, what changes, what do I notice changes when I don't meditate? and or like what it's like not meditating, essentially, because I spent the last 2 months meditating twice a day, pretty much twice a day, every day. And I think it boils down to one thing, which is there's a space between when I get a thought and when I act on something. And this happens all the time. So something will fire in my brain, a thought will happen, and then there's a space, there's a time delay between the thought and proceeding to act on it. And I found the last week, when I was not meditating, that space shrunk to basically nothing. And so there were a lot of times when I'd just be like on my phone, and I'd have the thought of like, oh, I wonder what, people are up to on Instagram. And instead of having this space to decide if I should open Instagram or not, I just act. I just open it. And I was thinking about this on my walk. It's like the people that have a dog, and the dog is like 1 year old, and it's like full of energy basically, and it's on the leash, and it's just running, and the owner is like holding on, like with the going like this, and it feels like that in my brain. And so like the dog that is controlling my brain is just going after whatever it is, if that's Instagram, or that's opening YouTube, or opening my notes app, or opening Google Maps. It's just like, it just goes, and anytime that I'm not doing something, it feels like it needs to fill that space with something. And so I'll open Google Maps and like look around, or open Maps app, or open YouTube, and it's just I as the owner am just being like dragged around by this dog that's like going after whatever. And so I don't have that space between the thought that occurs and choosing to act on it. And so that, I think, is the best way I can describe. There's this guy in Bali, and oh my gosh, I'll end on this then. There's this guy in Bali, he was I think he was in software engineering or something, and he was moving into being like a personal coach or life coach or something. And one of the things that he said was related to meditation. He did this like 10-day meditation challenge of meditating every day, and he noticed that the benefits he didn't see the benefits of meditation until he stopped meditation. And I think I agree with that. I think that's a good way of putting it. It's like I don't know if this is the right metaphor, analogy, one of those words, like boiling the frog, of like the temperature of the water grows so slowly that you don't notice the changes until all of a sudden it's like the water's freezing cold, or it's like freezing hot again, and it's like, whoa, hold on, there used to be this time between a thought that occurred and me taking action. I used to think, oh, I wonder what's happening on Instagram, and then choosing not to act on it, and choosing to be like, oh, cool, that's a thought that occurred in my brain, I'll get to it later, or something like that, Whereas now it's like, Instagram, and then opening the app. So anyway, that is what I have to talk about today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.